Are you thinking about keeping ducks and chickens together? It's definitely possible, but there are a few things to consider. Do you prefer duck eggs or chicken eggs? Let me know in the comments below. Personally, I prefer a chicken egg for frying and boiling, but I won't bake with anything but duck eggs. They add incredible richness and moisture to my banana bread and sponge cakes. Duck eggs are a better source of omega-3 fatty acids, protein, vitamin A and iron, but they also contain higher levels of fat and cholesterol if that's a consideration you need to make. Duck eggs have a higher yolk to white ratio, which helps to account for the rich and creamy taste you get when you cook them. My experiences trying to sell duck eggs at markets have shown me that most people will never choose to eat a duck egg. Don't be one of those people. Be daring. Try something new. You'll thank me for it. When keeping ducks and chickens together, make sure you have enough space for both ducks and chickens to roam around comfortably. Ducks need access to water for swimming and cleaning their noses, while chickens prefer dry land. I find it's best to have a separate chicken and duck coop, although I've known people who have successfully kept both in the same shed. A concrete floor is desirable if you're to keep the birds together, due to the ease of cleaning needed to keep such a messy poultry house clean. Plenty of perches are needed for the chickens, but the ducks will sleep on the floor. Provide some bedding on the floor for the ducks. There is something that a duck can do that a chicken can't. Stick around to the end of the video to find out what. The next point I have is providing separate nesting areas for the ducks and chickens. Ducks like to nest on the ground, while chickens prefer elevated nesting boxes. It's important to note that duck eggs will be covered in mud and feces, while chickens tend to keep their eggs clean as long as you keep their nest bedding clean. For this reason, duck eggs are less porous than chicken eggs and require higher humidity levels to hatch. So duck eggs can be laid near chicken eggs, but chicken eggs shouldn't be laid near ducks. Due to the natural contaminants produced by the ducks, a potential health consequence that can affect both species is bumblefoot. This is caused when a small cut on the underside of the foot is infected with a contaminant when stood on. Bumblefoot tends to be more common in ducks due to their heavier weight and softer feet, which injure easily, but it certainly is a problem for chickens as well. Veterinary treatment is required for this health treatment. Many people in online forums will give you advice about treating bumblefoot yourself, but I don't recommend this. For one thing, it's sometimes confused with other conditions by inexperienced pet owners. For another, many people recommend performing surgery on the bumble yourself, which can lead to serious pain and shock for your bird, especially with no pain relief. There is also the added problem of infection if you're not properly trained in sterilization techniques. One benefit ducks have over chickens is their natural pest and disease resistance. Over the years, I've lost many chickens, more than I can count. But in the same time, I've only lost one duck to dog attack. While lice are common in chickens, they don't infect ducks. The same is true for red mites and fleas. While you need to take measures to control these issues in chickens, and I recommend ivermectin for that, ducks have natural immunity to them thanks to their time spent in the water. Ducks can, however, be infected with botfly larvae in other parts of the world, but not mine. While ducks don't need to worry about most parasites, they're still affected by worms, particularly roundworms, just like chickens. I deworm my poultry at the beginning of every season and recommend this practice because it makes life easier when you don't have to remember dates. March, June, September and December are my worming times without exception. A simple application of a pig and poultry worming solution in their water at the correct concentration is all it takes. For chickens, it's best to withhold water for 2 hours while you keep them in the coop, and then you introduce a bucket of water with the concentrated poultry dewormer in it. With ducks, you don't have to worry about this practice because as a rule, ducks will always drink the water. Ducks can't help but be ducks. Ensure that the feed you provide is suitable for both ducks and chickens. Ducks require more niacin in their diet compared to chickens. You can meet this need by feeding them a cup or so of peas each week. Feeding them peas is one of the greatest joys in a duck's life. Ducks are very messy eaters and require water to help them swallow their food. For this reason, a layer mash that will suit a chicken may not suit a duck, because the added water will mix the mash into a porridge that is unappealing for the chickens and will harden like concrete once the ducks walk away. Monitor their behaviour closely to make sure they get along. Ducks might bully chickens during feeding time. While it generally won't come to serious fights and injury, it's wise to separate them if the scuffling becomes serious. Speaking of danger, the number one potential problem that will arise when you keep these animals together is the danger posed by drakes. Drakes are highly virile creatures and mate constantly during spring and summer. They don't discriminate between hen or duck, so they can pose a serious risk to your hens. Hens and ducks have completely different reproductive systems, which means that a drake can easily kill a hen if he attempts to mate with her. However, if you have enough ducks, the drake will prefer them over your hens. Depending on the age and personality of your drake, a ratio of 3 to 6 ducks to a drake is generally sufficient to keep the drake's attention away from your hens. Remember to keep to this ratio always, and don't forget it if you buy or hatch a new drake. Overall, with proper space, nesting areas, feed and supervision, ducks and chickens can coexist peacefully. Now that you've stuck around, I'll tell you the amazing thing that ducks can do that chickens can't. They can walk on ice and snow without their feet freezing. This is thanks to a mechanism known as the countercurrent exchange. The countercurrent exchange system is a specialised arrangement of blood vessels in the duck's feet where veins and arteries are positioned adjacent to each other to facilitate material exchange, specifically heat exchange. In this system, the warm blood from the body and the arteries warms the blood returning from the feet and the veins, ensuring that blood re-entering the body is warm. This process effectively conserves body heat by reducing heat loss, providing two key benefits. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips on raising poultry.